Hello, guys. Good morning. My name is David. Welcome to Growth Hacks. So today I'm going to be talking about learning how to take charge. Okay. Um, so I thought about quite a number of things before I came up with this topic, and I realized a lot of people actually don't like to take charge. People like to leave things to luck and chance, and then they end up wasting time. They end up not getting desired outcomes. And I'm going to point out one or two things about learning to take charge. I also understand that we live in a community, or we live in a society where people like to attribute things to God. People like to say that when you ask people about their plans for the next, let's say, 2 years, for the next 3 years, what they say is it's all in God's hands. And as good as that might sound, it's not also totally good to say that. So I'm going to explain to us why it is very important for us to learn how to take charge. Okay. So there's a part in the scripture that says that commit your plans unto God, unto the hands of God, and He will establish them. Now, that part of the scripture does not say that you should commit God's plan into God's hands. No, God, it says commit your plan into God's hand. Okay. And now, what I mean by this is that you need to be able to learn how to commit your plan into God's hand. Having a plan doesn't make you all sufficient or self sufficient. You can have your own plan in humility to God's will. Okay. God expects that you have a plan. And that's why He says that faith without work is dead. So God expects that you have a plan. You bring a plan to Him. This is what you want to do. This is what you want to be. This is what you want to achieve with respect to God's will for your life. Okay. So you need to learn how to have a plan. And when I'm talking about having a plan, what I'm talking about also is about intentional living. A lot of people don't live intentionally. People just want to wake up every day and say, "Oh, God's will be done," and you don't achieve things by doing that. You need to become intentional about how you live your days on earth. You need to be able to. You need to be intentional about how you spend your time. You need to be intentional about what you do with your time, and that is the purpose of this topic. Learn to take charge. Okay. There's another part in the scriptures, Proverbs specifically, and that part talks about the fact that nobody goes into battle without a plan. Nobody goes into battle without a plan. And now we need to understand that we live in a world that is a battleground. Okay. So you need a plan. You need a plan. You need to be an effective planner. Now, planning doesn't mean that you know it all. Doesn't mean that you're gonna get everything right. But then, when you plan, you have a direction you want to go in. You have things you want to get done, and you're believing God to give you an expected hand. You're believing God to um, take charge of that plan. You're believing God to help you accomplish that plan, and that is why you need to learn how to also plan effectively. Okay, so planning comes to play in almost every area of our lives. Okay, if you look at the university or the polytechnic, you see that you've got a first class student, you've got student that are probably finished with a pass or something. I'm not trying to say one is good, one is bad. I'm just trying to say that if you look at one of the differences in their outcome, one major difference is the power of appropriate planning. You would barely see a first class student um, without a plan. It doesn't happen by chance. And if you look at most of the successful people in life, they usually have a plan. They usually have a strategy. They usually have a strategy. So it is one of the things we should learn how to do. We need to learn how to have strategies in place. We need to learn how to plan. And by planning, I see a lot of people just make plans with their mouth. They just say, "I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that," and they don't end up. They end up doing nothing. Okay, so when it comes to appropriate planning, when it comes to learning to take charge, you should have a documented plan. One of the ways to get God into action is when you have a plan and you write out your plan. Okay, God, this is where I want to be in the next 2 years. This is where I want to be in the next 2 years. This is where I see myself according to your power that is at work in me. This is what I would like to achieve in the next 2 years. I believe you to help me achieve this plan according to your will. Okay, now you have that plan, you have it all laid out, you have it written out. Then you pray on it, you act on it. And that is why God says in His word that faith without work is dead. Okay, so God expects that your faith should be able to meet your work. Yes. And I'm sorry to say this, but a lot of people in our generation just want to, declare their faith. People want to declare their faith and they want to have the same outcome that people who don't have these beliefs have. Do you understand? And I expect that, especially when you're someone that understands how God works, also, you should be able to plan effectively, knowing that you have God in your plan. Okay, so basically, what I'm just trying to say is that you should learn how to plan. It's part of the things that will help you grow. Learn how to plan. Plan your day, plan your activities, plan what you want to achieve in the next 2 years, plan what you want to achieve in the next 6 months, plan what you want to achieve in the next 3 months, and work towards them. And one other thing that is also very effective when you're planning, when you're learning to take charges, the ability to be able to review your plans. Okay. Now, when you plan, what happens to you? You're able to get feedbacks from your plans. Or something is not going right with your plan. How can I do it better? Especially when you have a laid out plan, when you have a written plan. And I will encourage that you actually have a written plan. Okay, so when you have a written plan, you're able to go back to the plan and say, oh, what am I supposed to do here? What did I do wrongly? What should I fix? What have I done well? How did people respond to this? Okay, and that helps you to also shape your life because we live in a world of feedback. So when you do things, when you plan, you get feedbacks from your plan and you are able to achieve better outcomes. So basically, the essence of this video is just to tell you not to live your life to chance and luck or luck and chance. Okay, be intentional about your living, be intentional about your career, be intentional about your growth, be intentional about your anything you want to achieve in life. Be intentional. Success does not come by chance. I need you to understand that people might get rich by chance, but to sustain it, it won't come by chance. To remain at the top, it won't come by chance. So you need to be able to learn how to take charge. So this morning, I'm not saying it the way you want to hear it. I'm not going to say, "Oh, let God take charge." No, I'm going to say, "You take charge." Okay, involve God in your plans. Commit your plans to God, and He's going to establish it. Okay. Now, when you commit your plans to God in humility. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say in quotes. Okay, so you learn to plan, then commit your plans to God. All right, thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Bye.